Hello and welcome to Doing Business in Rwanda with me, Arnold Segoa. In this edition of Doing Business in Rwanda, we are going beyond our sovereign boundaries to see what is being done to attract investment into the country. Organized by the Rwandan community in California and the government of Rwanda, the Ronda Culture Day took place in the United States of America, and our very own George Ndirangu was on hand in San Francisco to bring back some nuggets from the Golden State. This is Doing Business in Rwanda.
September 24th, 2016 saw Rwandans from all over the globe, business partners and friends of the country convene in San Francisco, California with one thing in mind, the first Rwanda Cultural Day. The theme fit in well, highlighting success stories of the socio-economic projects embarked on decades ago. And as noted by His Excellency President Paul Kagame, there was a need to embrace our culture and Africanization.
I want to be an African, a modern one, an African that can relate well, meaningfully to the rest of the world. Rwandans make it easy because of this culture of being there for each other, of the values of our desire for our dignity. I think we are ready to stand up to any of these challenges, as history has shown.
What does Rwanda's culture mean for the country's tourism sector? How can this be better grown? And ultimately, how can Rwanda use this to reflect on the economic growth? These were some of the questions that were highlighted during the event. Exhibitors showcasing on the sidelines took advantage of the fact that they were in the backyard of the Silicon Valley, noting that it was no coincidence, seeing as Rwanda continues to position itself as an ICT hub.
We've been here for almost 4 or 5 days, and we've managed to meet a lot of great companies, Facebook, Google, Singularity University. So much as we're telling them to invest back home, we're also showing them what Rwanda has done. And it's incredible that we've kept them, their eyes wide open and wondering, is this Africa? So they've been able to get a feel, and it's given them a push to actually think about getting to invest.
It's amazing what is happening here in the Silicon Valley, and especially in San Francisco. We can see that how far, we are really behind, but we are catching up. We are catching up because they have a front that is not that really moving, so we can easily leverage on the technology and mistakes maybe or anything that they have done, and we move forward so that we get together.
How can Rwanda tap into the diaspora? The same way across the border, countries like Kenya are utilizing remittances. Kenya recorded remittances at $1.54 billion in February. Now, to give a slight comparison, the National Bank of Rwanda noted that remittances from the diaspora have grown from $50 million just a few years ago to $174 million in 2014.
What we have seen in the last, at least in the last 2 years, is a trend that people have now, moved away from using the normal conventional ways of transferring money, that is through SWIFT, Western Union, MoneyGram, to other means, to other much more smaller players. But the trend of the value of the money and the magnitude is increasing. And that shows you that people are doing quite well here to support the families at home. But it can also improve, because what is missing today is an integration between our countries, and when I say countries, the banking system, integration to some of the easier ways to pay here, PayPal, direct integration with Visa Pay, MasterCard, in the sense of remitting funds. So you can actually transfer money from your card directly into somebody else's mobile money. That's the sort of trend we're seeing right now. And there are various people that are doing these type of initiatives. And as BPR, we're also involved highly, and we should see some things happening in the coming months about remittances coming through to Rwanda. But the trend is increasing.
Now that Rwanda has created a very good, conducive environment, and also has allowed the Rwandans to be able to travel back and forth especially having the dual nationalities. The issue now is there is money that we capture that go through the banking system that comes in the form of remittances, but there is also other money that comes in investments in other different ways. That what we see as remittances may be very much underestimated. But what we've done is that we provided the whole facility environment. Number one, there are many products that we are putting on the market. We have quarterly bonds that are always on the market every 3 months. That also includes the investment by the diaspora. That's the government treasury bills and bonds. Number two, we have also launched the Rwanda National Investment Trust, Interim Fund, which is really meant for every Rwandan, no matter how little money you have, or even non-frequent investment. That fund is there for the Rwandans in diaspora and also in Rwanda.
Now we move from the west to the Far East, as Rwanda officially unveiled the flagship Airbus A330-200, nicknamed Wumwe, which will soon open skies to Guangzhou and Mumbai. The aircraft, which is the first of its kind in Eastern Africa, will help boost Rwanda's capacity to expand its wings globally.
For the new Airbus, we take a look at the pros and the cons. The pros: it is the first Airbus A330-200 in the region.
Well, then this means, huge sort of opportunities for travel further afield to Europe, to London, to Asia, and so it's you're connecting the world. You're taking down a barrier all through one aircraft, and obviously Rwanda are taking multiple A330s.
We chose Airbus A330 based on a number of factors. First and foremost being that it's an aircraft that is mature, that has been on the market for more than 20 years, almost 20 years. And over time, over that whole time, there have been very significant improvements in terms of efficiency, in terms of liability, and that was very key for a very young airline breaking for the first time into the wide bodies. We needed a product that is tested and that has stood the test of time. So that was very, very important for us. And then in terms of the reach and cargo capabilities, it worked for us because we are not yet into the cargo freighter business. So we needed an aircraft that comes with the right number of seats and the right amount of cargo. So we basically can do both using the same aircraft. But also, we needed the range that will take us into other continents. So it basically offered everything that we wanted in one aircraft.
It was the right move at the right time. Rwanda had, over the past few years, built up a fleet of 8 brand new aircraft deployed across Africa, and now is a time to build on that strength and go intercontinental. You can only go intercontinental in terms of competition if you have a new wide body. This Airbus A330-200 is a perfect choice to take people from Kigali to initially Dubai, then Mumbai, Guangzhou.
Second pro, IATA says Africa's air travel is set to grow by over 11% in 2016 and thus a lift-off in investment.
The economies are growing, the middle class in Africa is growing, people are having more and more disposable income, so going forward there will be more travel in Africa. So yes, it is possible for you to have 2 hubs next to each other and both of them being successful hubs. It all depends on the strategy and the support that government gives to the country's aviation sector through stimulus packages that can grow the aviation sector.
Let's take a look at the cons. The plane is hurting Rwanda's small economy. Already, according to Fitch, the plane is one of 3 reasons Rwanda's deficit in current account is up to 11.7%. So why do we need this plane when Kenya Airways just made a 4 billion Kenyan shilling loss from plane leasing alone in September 2016?
This is an investment of the Republic of Rwanda, and Rwanda is committed to develop a thriving tourism industry, and in particular the MICE sector. Rwanda has invested, and people have questioned that too, a national convention and exhibition center. Rwanda has developed several 5-star hotels of late, which have opened. Rwanda has shown the capacity to host major continental and intercontinental large-scale meetings. With the help of Rwandair, hand in hand, they will be able to develop this market, and it will benefit not just the hospitality industry and the economy at large in Rwanda, but it will also benefit the airline.
Business is not a good bed of roses. You'll always have ups and downs depending on, there were quite a lot of events and unfortunate events that have happened in our region. Terrorism, Ebola, name it. Everything has come. So we've been growing very well, basically on an average of about 20% year on year for the last 6 years that we've been in operation as Rwanda Air Limited. It's definitely an achievement we have to be proud of, because we're starting from a low base and going up. We're happy to continue that way. What we are doing, which I suppose everybody else is doing, is of course we've tried to position ourselves as an efficient, reliable, on-time performer. We operate new aircraft. Our service is good. And that is winning us a lot of hearts.
Around the globe and back in 10 minutes. From the celebrations in San Francisco to the unveiling of the iconic Airbus A330, which is a first of its kind here in East Africa. Rwanda is set to open up to the Far East, and I'm afraid that is all the time that we had for this edition of Doing Business in Rwanda. For any feedback, be sure to tweet us. Our Twitter handle is @DBI Rwanda. I'm Arnold Segawa, and from the entire Doing Business in Rwanda team, thank you for watching.